I'm Misha Hadaway, CEO and owner of Gentle Mama Counseling, and you're tuned into Ladies Power Lunch.
Hi, I'm Nadine Keller, CEO of Precision Sales Coaching and Training, and you are tuned into the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Debbie Sodergren, the CEO of Up Vibrations, and you are plugged into the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Christy Sullivan, human design expert, author, and speaker, and you are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Keisha Zulo, president of Events of Joy, and you're tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Mary Colangelo. I'm an international fashion therapist, and you are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm LaQuisha Clemens, the CEO of Freedom Life Therapy and Wellness. You are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Kiana Coachman Strickland, also known as DJ Q Boogie. I'm the founder of Female DJ Association, and you are
Hi,
tuned in to
everybody.
Ladies
Welcome
Power Lunch
to
Show.
the Grow Your Business Smarter, Live Your Optimal Life TV show. Hi, I am your host. My name is Dr. Davia Shepherd, and today we're going to be talking to our very, very special guest, Hillary Stern. I am so excited to introduce her to you later in the show, and we're going to be talking about a couple of fun things. We're going to be talking about the Celebrity Reflection, which is the ship that we just had our Ladies Power Lunch Retreat destination on, and Hillary was an attendee at our retreat. She had a fantastic time on the boat. She's going to tell us a little bit about the things she liked, maybe a little bit about the things she didn't like so much. And we're going to just pick her brain about the best way to enjoy a Ladies Power Lunch retreat aboard one of the cruise ships. But before we dive into that, we're going to get to know Hillary a little bit better. We're going to get to know a lot more about her as a member of our Ladies Power Lunch community. And of course, to learn more about the things that she can do to support us as we live our optimal lives. So it's going to be a jam-packed show, folks. It's going to be full of all sorts of excitement. And we're going to talk a bit about some of the do's and don'ts for summer vacation. At the end of every show, I pull a card. So there's a lot coming your way hard and fast. So for those of you who don't know me, like I said at the top, my name is Dr. Davia Shepherd. I host this show, which I think is amazing because it's for women in business, women who might be in small business, larger business. They might be in corporate life. They might be entrepreneurs. They might be solopreneurs. Some of our members are even retired or in nonprofit. But what we all have in common is this desire for women's businesses to thrive, for women in business to come together, support each other, and just see each other win. Because the thing that I know for sure, and I know you know it too, is that when women's businesses thrive, the whole entire community benefits. And so there's value to the community in supporting women in business. We host a women's group called Ladies Power Lunch. It's 100% free. I call it a group, but it's more of a movement. It's women in business coming together and supporting each other. And I invite you, if you're not already a member, how dare you not be a member? And also, we welcome you. We would love, love, love to have you. It's free and it's very easy to join. Just go to growsmarter.com/Facebook. And that's how you get to be a part of our amazing community. So I'd love to see all of you come join us and just come have a fantastic time with us every single day as we help each other grow our businesses. On with this show. Hillary, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hillary is a coach and she also has a background as a psychotherapist. And I'd love for you, Hillary, to share in your own words with our community who you are and just tell us a little bit about the amazing things that you're doing in the world.
Thank you so much, Davia. It is an honor and just a real thrill to be with you here. I am a licensed clinical social worker by trade, and I've been working as a psychotherapist since the mid-90s. Right now, I have a little business in my home, working virtually mostly with clients as a therapist, and I'm building a business as a caregiving coach. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I've been finding that in my life, as personally in my life, I have really lived the role of a caregiver quite a bit. And it tail doves into the work that I've been doing as a therapist in trauma. I'm a certified EMDR therapist, and using those skills that I've grown as a trauma therapist and with EMDR, I see how they can be really helpful on a caregiver's journey.
So tell me a little bit, Hillary, about the kinds of people who benefit the most from this kind of work that you're doing.
I have never been in a group of women where somebody says, oh, I don't relate to being a caregiver and the stress of caregiving. I think women have a unique place in the world of caregivers. I think there's hardly a woman that doesn't see themselves in some kind of caregiving role, aside from whatever professional thing they do. And oftentimes it's in the caregiving world. So I've talked to a lot of women who have been caregivers of their parents, especially women in their 40s and 50s, when their parents are in that age group of people who are chronically ill or needing more support in terms of their medical care and their personal care, as well as women who have partners who are chronically ill. And that's my personal story as well. My husband has been sick with Lyme disease for almost as long as I've known him. And some people find that that may not be the thing, this long-term Lyme disease problem, but many people do believe that they have the effects of a Lyme infection that lasts for a really long time and sometimes never goes away. So he's had multiple surgeries because his joints have been affected. And it's just been an ongoing journey, I have to say, in learning to keep balanced while also making sure that his needs are being met and that our relationship is growing still, even though there's challenges in that. And I also was a caregiver to two of my parents who have now passed on, but live nearby. And I went through that journey, and many people know what that's like. And I have children as well who are grown, who also have been needing my support. So it's no small thing, even though many of us are caregivers. There are many challenges to keeping our feet grounded and ourselves renewed and refreshed as we get through life.
You know, I hear what you're saying, and I have a feeling that very many people are in our audience raising their hands right now and saying, yes, I'm a caregiver. Yes, I totally identify with what Hillary is saying. I mean, as a physician, I know I see a lot of patients, mostly women, but not all, sometimes men, who are taking care of elderly parents, taking care of, as you talk about, spouses, because this is real. Like, I definitely see this. I've seen people who take care of grandparents. I have seen people who do caregiving for their children who have disabilities or who have an inability to take care of themselves 100%. And what I have noticed almost to a person is that they dive headfirst into making sure that the other that they're caregiving is absolutely taken care of, they have everything they could possibly need. And I would say 98.9% of the time, they are not taking that good care of themselves. They're not filling their own cup. And then that's when they come to see me because their health starts to decline.
Precisely.
Is this sounding familiar to you?
Oh, absolutely, Davia. In fact, I'm also a dance movement therapist, and I don't talk too much about that because most of the therapy that I do is sit down talk therapy. But I have a strong foundation in understanding the relationship between our bodies and our minds. And moving our bodies is sometimes a way that we can get to know what's really going on inside. So I really bring people back to what's going on inside your body right now, because your body is speaking your authentic truth, really. And you know, the statistics are that many people who are caregivers for people who are chronically ill or severely sick often become sicker than the person who is sick. And that's a really sad situation if that starts to happen, because then the person who's sick, you know, where are they going to get the care? And we all know the metaphor of, you know, the person on the airplane where the flight attendant says, so if you're a parent and you have a child with you, when that oxygen mask comes down, you have to put it on yourself first. Because if you are not well enough, you're not going to be able to take care or talk to that child who's going to need help. So putting on your oxygen mask first, it's a hard thing to do when you're a loving, giving caregiver, to think that, oh, I need to have the self-preservation to be able to then give the support to my loved one. But you have to.
You absolutely have to. I love this conversation so much because I also think that there is another percentage of folks who fall within this caregiver category, and they are out there thinking that this conversation does not apply to them. Do you know who these folks are?
I'm not sure who you're thinking of, but yes, there are folks that believe that. Yes.
For folks like that, what would your advice to them be? How would you get them to kind of listen up and understand that taking care of themselves is a priority?
You know, I hate to be an alarmist, but I would really
Be an alarmist.
I
Go
would hate
ahead.
to be an alarmist, but I have to say that if you're not yet seeing the signs that you're having the effects of the detrimental effects of overdoing the giving, of being the over functioning, I think is one of the words that comes up. If you're not seeing the effects, you will. And I'm sorry to say that, because there's no way that you can neglect yourself and not feel it. You're going to feel tired. You're going to have nightmares. You might find yourself using substances just to get through. And even if you're using substances, sometimes we need medication to help ourselves. There's no doubt about that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you find yourself using substances more than you want to, then you know that you're under a kind of stress that you're not handling real well. If you find yourself with your mood changing, your behavior is changing, you're grouchier, angrier, oftentimes you'll have your kids or your friends say, hey, what's going on? Why are you always angry? Why are you always snapping at me? Then you know that something's happening there. And there are ways that you can check in with yourself. And Davia, I have an exercise I can share, and I'll share it now or later, about ways that anybody who's a caregiver can do the coping ahead strategy to make sure that your needs are getting met. Even if you don't think that your needs matter, of course they matter. You matter as much as anybody else matters.
I think this is the perfect time, Hillary, for you to share, because my next question for you was going to be, can you give us some work to do so that we can work through this?
Yeah, so this is an exercise that I give oftentimes to my clients who are caregivers, because if you're the kind of person that loves to caregive, nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful thing. It's an act of love to give care to the people who are important to us. But if you're that kind of person, you might start to forget that you also need the acts of love given to yourself. And you forget what you need. Many people are so focused on what other people need that they forget that you have needs too. So here's the exercise that I give people. And I call it a 4-part check-in. There's probably a better name for it, but this is what it is. And I work with what I believe are the 4 parts of ourselves. We have a physical self, we have an emotional self, we have a mental or intellectual self, our minds, and we have a spiritual self. Okay. And whether you have a spiritual practice or anything like that, what I mean by spiritual is the part of us that gets inspired, spiritual, spire. We get inspired by something in the world, whether it's nature or art or music, but it can also be scripture or meditation or something or poetry even. So that's the spiritual. So here's the exercise. Yeah. So here's the exercise. The first part is I would have people, and I'm not going to do the whole thing because it takes a while. So I'll talk you through it quickly. And if you want to take notes, go ahead. And this is something you could just do for yourself. The first part is to take a few deep breaths and center yourself and just relax into wherever you are. You don't have to get into a special position, but just relax and close your eyes so that you are internally focused. And you want to do a little scan of your physical body, kind of like a piece of paper on a copy machine, and just note all the sensations and feelings that are coming up in your physical body, and ask your physical body what it needs. Now, we can go into a whole lesson about what our physical bodies need, but basically we need sleep, we need nutrition, we need exercise. And then there's all the little details within that. And you check in and you ask your body what does it need. And we have an internal intuition, and that part will speak up. Okay, so your body's going to tell you what it needs, and don't question it. Just write it down. This is what you need. Can't be so difficult. What do you need? You need a little rest. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything so esoteric. And then you want to check in with your emotional self, and you want to make a note because you don't want to have to remember it, right? You want to go back to it later. Your emotional self is the part of you that feels feelings, and you ask that part of you that feels feelings: happy, mad, sad, scared. How does it feel? And what does it need? How does it feel? Come up with a word or something, a metaphor for how it feels. Ask it. That part of you. Also, I do a lot of inner child work, and sometimes I refer to the emotional self as the inner child. You can see a little child part of you and ask her or him, what does she need? How does she feel? What does she need? Now, emotional needs can cover somebody to vent to, some crying or laughing, a hug, writing in your journal. These are all needs that help us get connected with and make our feelings matter. Am I talking too long, Davia? Because there's just 2 more parts. Oh, okay. And then we can move on and then jot down what comes up, whatever it is. And this is something I get further into when I work with people in a lot more detail. And then there's the mental self, the part of you that thinks thoughts. And you want to check in with that self, and you want to ask it, how have your thoughts been lately? Have they been positive? Have they been negative? Have they been scattered? Have they been focused? Have they been tired, jumbled? Just check in with that part. How have your thoughts been? And then ask that part of you what it needs. And this is something we don't usually think about our thoughts that much, but sometimes we need to focus a little bit more positively. We need to reframe. We need to get organized. We need to be stimulated. Sometimes we're just going about our day to day. We don't have enough intellectual stimulation. We need information. So these are things that our mental self might need. And then finally, and jot that down, then finally, you check in with your spiritual self. And again, this is a part that often gets on the back burner because it seems so ephemeral, the spiritual self, but actually it's part of us that I think generates the most backup. It's our backup generator. You know, when all else fails, you need, and a lot of people will tell you when they're in their worst place. And that was on the talk yesterday. I forget what the woman said. She said, you know, in her darkest place, she has found her greatest inspiration or something like that. And oftentimes people do find when they're going through this, can be a dark journey, the caregiving journey, that they lean into their spiritual self, the part of them that gets inspired, because we need, our heart center gets touched by this inspiration. And if our heart center isn't feeling fed and isn't generating energy, caregiving can lead to resentment, depression, and depletion, you know, if we're not generating some inspiration for ourselves. And, you know, that also goes along with fun. And when we talk about the retreat, I'll tell you a little bit about how I experienced some regeneration during that retreat that really helped my heart center get some energy.
I love, love, love that workshop. And I see an opportunity for us to, going forward, perhaps schedule some time for Ladies Power Lunch members to really sit with you and dive deeply into that. And here's the reason why. I know you're working primarily with caregivers, but a lot of the women who are part of our Ladies Power Lunch community, the work that they do is in service of others. They're caring for others. They're coaches, they're healers, they're leaders, they're doctors, they're teachers. They're doing a lot of things for others. And for those of us who find ourselves in that role, a lot of the times we forget that taking care of self is super important. And if you're not taking care of yourself, folks, you're not able to live your optimal life because you're missing out on one whole pillar of live your optimal life, which is that balance piece, which is that piece that has everything to do with your relationship with yourself. So I'm just going to raise my hand right now and invite you back onto the show for us to really dive more deeply into this when we have a little bit more time.
Love
Any
it.
final things that, like, if you could just give us one last tip so that we can take this and go with it and it'll help our lives to be better, what would that one thing be?
So the thing that comes to mind right now is don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty for taking care of yourself and making yourself vibrate with optimal life when your loved one isn't doing well, because they will get your energy and it will help them. The happier you are, the more your loved one will be buoyed by your energy. So don't feel guilty. Let yourself give yourself the love that you need in order to give to the world, like you do probably.
That's such a great advice. And that's going to lead a little bit into what we're going to talk about a little bit later in the show, which is going on vacation with family and how to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves so that when we get back from vacation, we're not completely depleted. So that's coming up in just a few minutes. But before we dive into that, Hillary, let's talk a little bit about some of the fun stuff that happened about, is it 2 weeks now since we've been back
Yes,
from
yes,
retreat?
yes,
Oh my
yes.
goodness, it feels like such a long time ago. I'm already ready to go on the next retreat. But you went on Our Ladies Power Lunch spring retreat, and it's so important for me to stress that these retreats are the retreats for the retreat leaders, the retreats for the folks who are taking care of everybody else. This is the place where they come to get filled up and get supported so that they can go back into the world and be their most amazing self. So we have had a wonderful retreat in the spring, and we do have another retreat coming up in the fall and another one in the spring next year. So if for any reason you're interested in learning more about Our Ladies Power Lunch Live Your Optimal Life retreats, may I invite you, just go to growsmarter.harder.com/retreat. So tell us, Hillary, tell us all the things. Tell us about the experience that you had aboard the Celebrity Reflection. So for those of you who are new to Ladies Power Lunch retreats, we host our retreats on a cruise ship, and they are retreats that we host on a premium cruise line, so that it gives you an opportunity to get away from the hectic hustle and bustle on the traditional cruise company and to actually have a relaxing retreat. And all our accommodations are at that spa level, and there are certain amenities that we make sure are available for you, and it's just a relaxing opportunity. And also we build in some transformational components as well. So our cruise went out of Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale. So my first question to you is, can you just give me an overall picture of what you thought of this idea of having a retreat on a cruise? How did that land for you in the beginning?
Well, the truth is you and the other retreat providers really set the stage ahead of time with some thought, with some meetings on Zoom where I got into the headspace of working on myself. And I had some things that I really wanted to work on. One was building confidence. So I sort of was zoomed in, but I wasn't quite sure. I'd only been on one other cruise before, and I wasn't quite sure how this one was going to go, if it was going to be distracting or how we were going to do that. So I was a little, worried a little bit about whether I was going to get my needs met in terms of the work that I wanted to do on myself.
Oh, okay, good to know. And then, like I said, we went out of Port Everglades, and you perhaps had an opportunity to enjoy Fort Lauderdale a little bit before the retreat. Did that happen?
Well, not so much Fort Lauderdale, but I did get to my hotel and I did meet a couple of the other retreat goers for breakfast the day before, which was super fun. And then we stayed connected and we went over to the port. And so we were sort of supporting each other in the, where are we? What are we doing kind of way.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how the groups come together. That's always pretty interesting. And we love cruising out of Port Everglades because Fort Lauderdale as an area has so much amazing stuff that's available for people to take advantage of before and after retreat. I know for some of us, we found this amazing spa called Therme Retreat, and it was the best. So there's so much to do in the area, even before or after we get on retreat. How was embarkation for you? How was getting on the ship? Was it difficult? Sometimes people think it can be a hassle.
It was so easy. I was shocked. Like it seemed obvious where to go. They took your luggage, they put your thing on. We had our little luggage tags. They didn't care if it was colored or not colored or whatever. They were super friendly. And then we went inside, the line moved, zip, zip, zip. The next thing you know, we were on the ship.
I had the opportunity to be in a press event for celebrity some time ago, and the CEO said that they have an intention to get you from the pier to the ship in 15 minutes or less.
Pretty much. Yeah, it was amazing.
And he said, and I'm probably quoting him incorrectly, that you could probably get through faster, but you'd have to run. So
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty amazing. I love that their embarkation process is easy because when we are bringing folks on retreat, we want it to be an easy experience. We want you to start off on the right foot.
Yeah, they give you a time that you're supposed to get there, and we got there super early. Nobody cared. They just kept you moving along. I think that's just a way to manage crowd control more or less. But there was not a big crowd, and things went really smoothly.
The impression that I have is that pre-COVID, they had started some of these crowd movement activities. And then once cruising resumed post-COVID, they had to implement certain activities for crowd movement in order for us to maintain social distancing. And so they had the opportunity to perfect it. And so now they have gotten really, really good at moving folks through. What about when you got on, did you get a chance to go to your room?
Yep. I went straight to my room. It was ready, and it was beautiful. It was easy to find. Everything just was so smooth. The ship itself is huge and elegant inside. We were walking around. You see all the beautiful levels. You can see all the levels from the elevator, and you see the different seating areas where you can go and relax. And yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful. Did you get a chance one of my favorite things about Celebrity Reflection is the spa. I'm going to admit that I'm a spa baby. I enjoy a good thermal suite. I enjoy being able to just relax and have a treatment done. Did you get a chance to check out the spa?
I sure did. I was there several times. I got a wonderful, wonderful massage. I sat, I guess they're called thermal chairs, these amazing hot stone lounge chairs. I almost didn't want to get up. I almost fell asleep. And then they have the cold room and the steam rooms and the saunas and all kinds of different treatments that you can get, and a wonderful exercise room with a ton of equipment. So it was really, really well organized and offered a lot.
And that's one of the things that we like to make sure that it's included as part of our retreat, because we want folks to be able to, these women who come on our women's wellness retreats, they're taking care of everybody else. We want them to come on retreat with us and be taken care of. And so the thermal suite is included as part of the package. You get to, do the yoga and the meditation classes. You get to enjoy the fitness center, which is overlooking the ocean and so beautiful. It's really an opportunity to take care of yourself.
So I forgot to share one thing that happened, and it was just like, it just struck me as amazing. So I go to sign in for my massage, and the massage therapist comes, and we go to walk. You walk down this spiral staircase to get to the
Yes.
room. And I walk over there, and there are these two women standing on the stairs. And I was just, waiting I thought they were walking down the stairs, and they're just like, hi, I felt like a queen. They're like, hello, and they guide you down the stairs.
It's an opportunity to be taken care of. And like you talk about how caregivers, they're constantly focused on others. This is an opportunity for us to be the one taken care of. So I love, love, love that. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about food, because one of the things when we're putting together our retreat packages, there's a lot of thought that goes into it. We really want to make sure that you have beautiful dining options, but you also know that sometimes beautiful dining options are not the healthiest. And so we really, really had to look among the options to see what was going to be the best choice. And the restaurant Blue is actually a healthy dining option that is a beautiful experience. Tell us a little bit about how you felt with the service and the food options that are available at the Blue restaurant.
Well, I have to say, and I think all the other women on the cruise, that we shared the table every night, and the service was exceptional, and the food was, can't say more about it. It was fantastic. It was light. It was scrumptious. There was plenty of it. The portions were enormous, and you can have whatever you want, of course. And yeah, it was just fantastic. In fact, we tried another one of the restaurants just to get a change of pace one night, and we were highly disappointed in comparison. So yeah,
It's almost like when you've had the thing about the celebrities that I personally enjoy all the dining options, but when you've had the best, which I think Blue is the best on the ship, the other options do pale in comparison. They really,
yeah.
really.
I mean, the other place was lovely and the service was fantastic, but the food was just not as fresh, as light, as well, well prepared.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that. Did you get a chance? One of the women who she wanted to come on retreat with us, but she had a concern. She'd never been on a cruise before, and she thought that outside of our retreat programming, that she would be actually quite bored on a cruise ship. Tell us a little bit about any entertainment that you might have had a chance to experience.
Well, I tried to do all the things because they have a great schedule of things. So during the day, out by the pool, there's always a band. There's activities. I love dancing. I did all the dance activities. I did the line dancing. I did the nighttime dancing and under the moon. Everybody dresses in white, and it's like the full moon dance party. But then they had great entertainment, like top notch, beautiful performance. There was a great comedian, and then there was the captain of the ship was quite the character and quite talented, and he even had his own band one night. So some of the women and I went to different shows, and then the other thing that I really enjoyed was the art, and I didn't realize this, but
Yes.
Celebrity really curates a wonderful art exhibit, not just in their little gallery but all over the ship. And I spent a good bit of time in the gallery talking to one of the people that worked there, because he was really quite the art. He just knew a lot about art, and it was great. I just loved it. I love the art. I really do enjoy that element of culture. So for me, that filled me up.
I love that. And if you are also an artist, there is an art studio on board where you can go and just be at sea, be at peace, and experience your art, see what pours through you in that environment. So I personally love to take our retreat groups into that art space and just see what comes up, see what creativity comes up. So it's such a great environment for all the things that we want to do. Let's talk a little bit about ports. Were you one of the folks who got a chance to do the dolphin experience?
I did, yes,
Yay!
yes. So yeah, Mary and I both went on the dolphin experience, and it was delightful. I mean, just being on the water. It was Key West. No, yeah,
Yes.
yes, that was Key West, and we went out. And what's fun for me, what was fun was looking back at the ship as you're getting farther away from the port and just seeing that.
It's a beautiful vista.
Yeah, and so we haven't seen a lot of dolphins. Like, there were a few different pods that came around. We were surrounded by dolphins, and they were, coming over and jumping, and doing all their things. And we did that for a while. And then we went further out and we did some snorkeling, which was also amazing because it's on a reef. And I didn't even know that there's a whole reef along the East Coast there.
Yes.
And it was quite spectacular and really, really a wonderful experience. Yeah.
And finally, let's talk a little bit about the private island experience, because that's one of my favorite things to do when we go on Celebrity Reflection.
Yeah, well, there was nothing better, really. So we had the whole day on this island in the Bahamas, and we picked the area called Chill Island to spend the day. And some people did some snorkeling out. There's some area out there that you can look at. The ocean is this crystal turquoise color, and we're sitting in under this cabana with the fan and having food and drinks and talking and going swimming and shopping and all the things. That was a lot of fun and really restful. I have a picture of myself. I don't know why I took this picture, but I'm lying there on the cushions with my eyes closed, and I definitely was very, very relaxed.
I love the cabana experience. And when we do host retreats on Celebrity Reflection and we go to the private island, getting a cabana for our group, or sometimes depending on how large our group is, we might have to get a few cabanas, but having that home base to be able to just relax in. Sometimes it gets a little hot on the island. There's a fan, there is service to bring you lunch and just take care of you in that theme of allowing yourself to be taken care of. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad that was meaningful for you.
Yeah, one of the guys who was our service person, he kept trying to get us to get ice cream, and we were like, no, we don't want ice cream. Finally, at the end of the day, he just came over with a bunch of ice cream cones, and we were like, of course we want ice cream.
Of course we want ice cream. I love it. I love it. That's so awesome. So one of the saddest days on a retreat is the day that you depart. But how was your debarkation? How smooth was it getting off the ship?
It was so smooth, I don't really even remember it, to be honest with you.
Because the
At a
facial
time,
recognition just speeds you right through.
I don't even remember any hassle at all. Yeah, everything just went very smoothly. There really was not a lot that you had to think about.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And did you have an opportunity to enjoy any of Fort Lauderdale after the
Well,
cruise when you
yes,
were
I
finally
did.
back?
I stayed an extra day, and a couple of the
Mhm.
women on the cruise and I stayed at this local Hilton that had this huge pool area and, great restaurant attached to it. And so we had an extra day just lounging at the pool and enjoying each other's company for just a little longer.
I usually recommend for folks to come in a day early at least and stay a day late and just enjoy Port Everglades and the surrounding Fort Lauderdale area. Go on Las Olas, enjoy the beach because the beach in Fort Lauderdale is also wonderful. Those are my stomping grounds. That's where my family lives. And so it's always also a great opportunity for me to share Fort Lauderdale with folks who come on retreat with us. So I'm so glad that you had a great experience. And
Yeah, excellent.
I want to invite people to, if you are a woman in business and you are in service of others in your business every single day, there is an opportunity for you to have not just a relaxing, rejuvenating, great vacation on a luxury cruise ship, but also to have a transformational experience. Come with us, change your perspective, and come back to the folks that you're here to serve renewed and ready to give them your all. Just go to growsmarter.com/retreat. You can see information about our upcoming retreats. So let's talk a little bit about what's been on my mind today. I'm trying to put out a blog post every Tuesday, Hillary, and I'm trying to give it this format of top 10 tips for something. So we've been doing it for a while. Let's see if we keep doing it. If people like it, we'll keep doing it. If folks are like, nah, then we'll probably stop. But today, I talk about things that are going on for me. So we're getting ready to go on family vacation. It's officially summer. The kids are out of school. It's not really summer yet, but the kids are out of school. Today is one of the hottest days on record for the year so far. Like all the signs that it's summer, they're here. And we're planning our summer vacation. And for us, this summer vacation is going to be including not just our immediate family, but our extended family. And it's going to be a little bit of a generational vacation. So big group going off, and this can be challenging, right, Hillary?
Yes. Yes.
What has your experience been with vacations like this?
Well, I'm about to go on a vacation too, and I have to say I've been doing a lot of prep, doing a lot of making sure we have things to do when we get there, like some activities for all the people who need a little extra stimulation, that we have room for downtime. And I like knowing ahead of time that I have a little schedule. I know that doesn't seem very rest and restorative, but I don't want to have to think about it when I'm there. I don't want to.
When you're there.
Sit around looking at each other going, what are we going to do today?
What do you want to do? No, what do you want to do?
Exactly.
And
I
you
hate
spend more time trying to figure out what everybody's going to do. And by the time you look at it, it's dinner time. And then you start having the conversation. What do you want to eat? No, what do you want to eat? And it goes on and on.
Believe it or not, I actually use my my little planner thing, and each day I have reservations I've made. I have foods
Yes.
that we're gonna have. I know what I'm gonna make on the dinners we're gonna make at home. So yeah.
I love it. Guess what, Hillary? I always knew I liked you, but now I think I've fallen deeply in love. You are my kind of people. I have not really at this point met a spreadsheet that I don't like. So you understand how absolutely enamored I am with you in this moment. So I'm going to tell you my top 10 tips for living your
Ready.
optimal life, even on family vacation. And I want to have you weigh in. Tell me a little bit if you think these are going to be good tips or if you have things to add. So my tip one is commit to living your optimal life on vacation. Commit to it. Just make a decision that this is what you're going to do. Because I think sometimes we go on vacation with our old mindset of taking care of everyone, and we fall into that pattern of leaving ourselves off our own list.
Yes, yes.
I see you
I call
nodding
it.
there. So I feel like you're in.
I'm in. I call it commit to the happy. Like
Yes.
I'm gonna make
Ooh,
happy choices.
commit to the happy. I'm writing that down. Yes. Step two, plan ahead. It's like I was channeling you, Hillary. Learn as much as you can about the travel process and your destination ahead of time so you can do the things, everything in your power to make it a hassle-free vacation. So like you were saying, which meals are we gonna make? Which meals are we gonna go out for? It might sound to some as though we're overscheduling it, but it's not actually, because it makes sure that once you get there, it's a no-brainer. You don't have to think about it. And just because it's on the schedule doesn't mean you have to stick with the schedule. It just
Right.
gives you a framework that you can work within. So I love that plan ahead. My step three is the second pillar of the Live Your Optimal Life house, right? It is that compassionate boundaries. We're going on family vacation, folks, and family dynamics can be tricky. We already have established roles that we play in our families, and sometimes those roles can allow our boundaries to be overstepped. Like, for example, I am the kid, my mom is the mom. And there are certain things that might not be okay with me, but I might put up with it because she's my mom. So my suggestion is, how can you let your travel companions know what you're available for and what you're not available for? How can you let folks know what you need, what you find fun, what you find fulfilling? And how can you communicate this? Because communication is important, but firmly and kindly.
Excellent. Can't say better.
Yeah, right?
I'll say one more thing though. Also, when there's conflict, if it's not your conflict, let other people work out their own conflict and mind your own business.
Mind your own business when it comes to conflict. I love that. And that's a part of boundaries, right? You don't have to get involved with everything that's going on. And that can be really important in families. And now,
Yeah, I call it stay in your lane.
yes, absolutely. So my step four is, it's okay to do the things that fill you up. I think sometimes we might defer to everybody else's needs and schedules and go and do the things they want to do and leave out the things that I want to do. For example, I like to go get a massage. My kids like to go on the water slide. And it's okay for another family member to take them on the water slide, and I can go and get my massage. So they're taken care of, they're doing what they want to do, and I also make some time for me. I love, love, love making sure that I am also still on that list. I have as number five, make time for you in nature. So I believe very strongly that wherever you're going on vacation, even if you're going into a city, say, for example, you're going to London on vacation, or you're going to a beach location for vacation, you can learn so much more about your destination when you take time to enjoy the local flora and fauna, of course, in a safe way. So I definitely recommend that. My thing six is, you don't have to do all the things. Every destination that you go to is going to have a ton of different things that you can do. You don't have to run yourself ragged trying to fit every single thing into your schedule. I feel like white space on that schedule of your vacation is so ideal. What do you think about that?
Well, I call it the blob out day.
Mhm.
It's the day where we don't have to have anything planned. And if everybody just wants to sit around and read their book and relax or take naps, that's a great day to have.
Yeah. And number 7 on my list flows right into number 6, which is rest. It's
Mm.
okay to sleep in. It's okay not to go on that 9 a.m. tour. It's okay not to hit all the nightlife spots. It's okay not to do insert the thing that you're feeling compelled to do here when your body, like you were saying earlier in your exercise that you gave us, when your body is saying to you that it needs rest, kind of listen to that.
It's not so hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And just a couple more. Number 8 is stick to your usual self-care regimen as much as you can.
Good one.
I know sometimes on vacation, it might seem like it's difficult, but it might actually help you to have a better vacation. I'll give you an example. Sometimes you can Google near me and you can find, for example, a yoga class on the beach near you, or you can find a walking meditation through the jungle near you. I don't know what your vacation is. Or you could find a paddleboard experience on the lake near you. Like, just look at the things that you like to do that are for your self-care. And when you're making that schedule, schedule them in. Don't neglect your self-care when you're away on vacation.
Thank you. That's so helpful.
Yes. And then don't try to get everyone on the same schedule. I'm guilty of this, folks. I'm like, we all need to get on the bus at this time. And don't be a Davia. It's okay. Everybody can do their own thing. I think it's good to have some times where we meet up as a family and we do things together, maybe for dinner or for breakfast or whatever. But really, it's okay for everybody to do their own thing. My kids enjoy the water slide. They will be there all day given the chance. They love to play ping pong in the kids club. I love to go to the beach. As long as they have supervision, it's fine. It's okay. Everybody can do their own thing, and then we get back together when it's time. And my last tip is breathe.
Thank you.
Breathe, breathe, breathe. What do you think about my tips?
Wow, I am so happy that you gave me these tips because I'm about to go on vacation, leaving in a couple of days, and I needed this. Thank you so much. They're all perfect and helpful.
Awesome. At the end of every show, and I can't believe it, Hillary, but we are right up on the end of the show. At the end of every show, I try to remember to pull a card. I don't always remember, but I did remember today. And so it's so funny. The card we pulled last week is a card that I've been pulling a lot. So it'll be interesting to see, based on the conversation that we have been having today about taking care of ourselves, especially for those who take care of others, it'll be interesting to see what card shows up for us today. Ooh, this one says Earth Goddess.
Ooh,
Isn't she beautiful?
beautiful.
And it says, who you are. So I guess the Earth Goddess is who you are. This
Mm,
deck is from Alana Fairchild's
this
Love
one.
Your Inner Goddess. And I've just, oh, it says love who you are. I've just been enjoying this deck for the past few months, really. So let's see what she has to say. To live the dream, we have to surrender the fantasy. This can be painful. Feels like the end when in fact it is the beginning. Once the pain passes, there's the joy of what we have yearned for coming to life. It may
Mm,
not be perfect as the fantasy, but it will be real and it can nourish us. We can build our appetite for life with dreams, but we cannot be fed by them. The soul requires real life experiences to become fully alive, to have experiences and grow. Fantasy that wants to become reality for you. Don't let a few gritty moments or human imperfections prevent you from experiencing the joy of heaven on earth. I don't know. What's this one saying to you?
I love what you just read, and that does speak to me. You know, you love your what is it? What does it say?
Love who you are.
Love who you are. It's about being real in the moment. Love who you are and allow yourself to be imperfect.
I love that. I love that. And I think it's important for us to love who we are when we're taking care of others. We need to really stay grounded. This earth goddess is a grounded goddess.
Yes,
Stay
yes,
grounded
yes,
in
yes.
who we are and loving who we are,
Mm, thank you.
even
Yeah,
when the others are our focus. That's what I'm taking away from this card.
that's great.
Awesome. Hillary, this has been such a pleasure hanging out with you. The very, very best. Any final words for us?
Likewise, it has been a pleasure hanging out with you too. And I really got a lot out of listening and talking together. And the final words are just allow yourself to receive all the good in your life.
Beautiful. I want to invite folks, come hang out with me and with Hillary and with 1,000 other of your best friends over in the Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group. It's a completely free and amazing community of women. And I know from you just listening in and hanging out with Hillary today that you'll agree that these women, they are top notch and they're waiting for you to connect with them. So come on over, growsmarter.com/Facebook and come meet Hillary and all our other friends. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching along with us today. Thank you to everybody who joined us over in the Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group. And I'll see you all on the next show. Bye, everyone.